Oh man, breaking macro data just in, sending Bitcoin to the downside. We've just had a shock inflation report followed by a nasty job report. I'm going to break down exactly what these mean. Bitcoin moving 0.7% to the downside. Is 25k just an inevitability now? You've got many people calling for even lower price targets. We're going to break down the key levels. Smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe as always. Check out the links in the description if you want to buy or trade any cryptocurrencies. Now, if you take a look at this big wicking candle just a couple of 5-minute candles ago, literally breaking news, we had the PPI data come out and you can see that the market responded in the positive direction. If you're following my Twitter, at Ijaz, you would have got these as and when the data came out. Core inflation, which is your PPI, your producer inflation, 0.2 versus 0.2 expected. You had the headline notched down 0.1, lower than expected, which is very good. And same for the core, 3.2 versus 3.3. So we saw a calling off in PPI inflation. Couple that with yesterday's data, we should be really happy right now. But there are a few things holding Bitcoin back, and the first of which is the jobs figure which just came out. We just had jobs come in at 264,000 new jobless claims versus the 245,000 expected. That is the highest level since Jan 2022. Now this is a bit of a double-edged sword. Had this number have come in too low, that not enough people were unemployed, that would be a worry as well, because then people would be thinking, hang on, Jerome Powell, your rate hikes aren't working. You need to soften the labour market. But this figure has come in too high. Markets will be a little bit spooked by this. This big skyscraper tower of 264,000 new unemployment claims could worry markets, and that is why we're seeing a little bit of panic here in the markets. Couple that with what happened yesterday after we posted our video, we had a bit of FUD. We had some FUD yesterday leading to this big fall down where many people, including myself on Twitter, got tricked for 20-30 minutes thinking that the US government had again dumped their seized Bitcoin. This is getting hugely frustrating now because you're getting quite reputable places reporting on-chain metrics saying that the US has dumped their seized Bitcoin from the Silk Road seizure. But they've not, and this is really annoying because it's leading the markets to dump and panic. Now, my thoughts on the whole government selling their Bitcoin, that's good. If we do get dumps based on that, there are always opportunities, in my opinion, to buy the dip, right? Nothing fundamentally changes with Bitcoin. Nothing changes. We know that at some point they're going to sell, so that should be priced in already. Onwards and upwards we go. If we get opportunities to buy the dip when they do sell, I'll happily take advantage of that. So that is why we got this crazy dip yesterday, giving up the initial rise we had after yesterday's CPI inflation. Okay, similarly today, a little bit of a bump up today here on a smaller scale for the PPI inflation, and then we got thrown back down because of the jobs figure. So this is a bit of a mixed bag. Let's jump on over now live over to the US markets to see how they're responding to this in the pre-market. Because this is a mixed bag for crypto, but for the US markets, let's just take a quick check here. You see the NASDAQ is slightly green. You've got the S&P notching down and the Dow Jones down 0.4. So yeah, they're not too happy. You had Disney reporting pretty poor earnings yesterday. The inflation figures are generally quite positive, right? But the risk now is, could you be driving into a recession? If you're creating so much unemployment in the market and it's had such a big hike up, could something have happened to destabilize these companies? And could we now have slowing earnings leading into a recession? This is now the fear we're seeing. So what are the key levels on Bitcoin? Well, as far as the levels we've been monitoring over the last few weeks here, nothing has changed. We've broken down from this symmetrical triangle pattern. We couldn't hold support at the first pivot point. We looked to the second pivot point, and so far so good. It's holding above that 27,200 level with a little bit of breathing room as well. Now, yesterday's FUD did lead us to wick below that level, which would be concerning, but for now we're holding. If we're not able to hold and get past the apex, which is past here on the triangle, 28,600, and work our way up, this triangle still has a price target all the way to the downside of 25,000. And I've made very, very clear why for a long time, you can go, we were one of the first channels to call this when Bitcoin was knocking on the door of 31. I was calling for 25 because I could see it in the charts. We were so extended from our weekly EMA ribbon. We covered it off to death. Hold up. Are you tired of worrying about the security of your cryptocurrency transactions? In this crazy world that is crypto, protecting and preserving our digital assets is everything. And for that reason, I partnered with NordVPN, the best VPN service for crypto traders. With NordVPN, you can be sure that your online transactions are completely secure and your identity is hidden hidden from prying eyes. Their military-grade encryption technology makes sure that no one can access your data, even on public Wi-Fi networks, so you can trade with complete peace of mind anywhere, anytime. Guys, seriously, don't risk your hard-earned crypto and NFTs for the price of a coffee each month. They've also offered a free month and up to 60% off their plans. Oh, and they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Guys, seriously, it's a small price to play for a rapid, safe VPN. Definitely check it out. Link is in the description. Ijaz.uk/NordVPN. And let's get back into this video. So 25k is still in play. Now, the risk we now have is as follows. 25k would actually lead us to lose our EMA ribbon, which would not be a good look, because if I show you this, you're going to see something very important here. The EMA ribbon is starting to climb up. So you can see the top of the EMA ribbon is at 26,000. So if we come to 26,000, we'll already be retesting our EMA ribbon. But because we now are starting to see a flippening of our EMA ribbon, the bottom of the EMA ribbon is going to start to climb above 25,000, which means we won't necessarily have the full 25,000 to use for a retest of the EMA ribbon. If we were to go into our EMA ribbon now, we'd be okay at 25. 25 is right where my cursor is right now, and we touch our EMA ribbon, and hopefully we can bounce from it. But the number of weeks that go beyond before we get to 25, the EMA ribbon's climbing, right? So the bottom of the EMA ribbon is going to get above 25k, meaning we might only get support into that 25.5k region, and we need to rotate before then. Anything lower than that, and we could be closing below our weekly EMA ribbon, which is not what we want. We worked so hard to achieve this, we don't want to be giving it straight back up. Retesting 25 is perfectly fine. In fact, I'm going to show you this using the line chart. Sometimes it just pays to take off the candlesticks, click here, go onto lines, and just look at the lines, right? Look at the lines, and when you see here, put your cursor on 25,000, and you will see just here, 25,000, you can see this is a very important support level, right? From 24,300 all the way to 25,000, this is an important support area, okay? So that's what we want to be monitoring. It makes natural sense when we spent all this time, we bottomed out around 15,000, we worked our way back up, retest 25, and then go on your bigger move to the upside, break through 31, and carry on your journey to the upside. So 25 makes sense. And the daily chart backs that up. We've now officially closed below our weekly EMA ribbon a couple of days ago. We've had 3 negative days spanning out since then. We're below our EMA ribbon. We've got to accept that now. We're not going to suddenly just bounce above it. We've now gone below our EMA ribbon, and now it's going to act like resistance. Whether we like it or not, you're starting to see here the daily EMA ribbon is flipping, the lighter colored lines starting to flip over the darker colored lines. So the bears are really starting to control this trend. And for us, what that then means as bulls is if we try to test on the back end, we'll face resistance, and it's likely they can try to put us into a multi-day, multi-week downward trend. So most likely we are looking at 25, and that's personally what I'm preparing for. But what is the upwards case? Like I said, the upwards case is a sudden, powerful move taking you above the apex of the triangle at 28,000 and working your way up. But the problem is, you can't just go back up here. You can't just go to 28,000 and everything's hunky-dory. No. You need to get above 30, which is where we got rejected previously, and then 31, which is the local high, to create a higher high, and then you reclaim the trend, okay? Because at the moment, what happened was Bitcoin managed to go to 31, came down. Went to 30, came down. Went even lower, came down, right? Lower highs, creating the triangle. But equally, we created higher lows until now, okay? So now, the hope for Bitcoin is to create this W pattern. Let me just show you this W pattern so it's very clear. And in fact, let's do it using the line so you can see it. The W pattern you want to be forming is 1, 2, 3, and come back up, and then form your W pattern to the upside. Okay, that is what we're looking for Bitcoin as a bullish situation to get us out of this mess. It's got to come down, up, down, go to the neckline again, which is at 30, and break beyond it and get past 31. That's the hope. That's the only hope. Otherwise, 25.k into that 26k region is looking like the most meaningful pullback right now on Bitcoin. Now, as you can see here on the dollar index, it is a big green candle here for the dollar index, which of course marries in with Bitcoin having a red day. But we still are in a firm downward trend. So there's not too much to be worried about here until it starts working through its EMA ribbon. So even if it wants to retest the EMA ribbon, that's fine. But I do want to see this dollar index being rejected and continuing to remain in a steep downward trend here on the daily. The problem is, if the dollar index reclaims its daily EMA ribbon, chances are Bitcoin will lose its daily EMA ribbon for an even longer period of time. Okay, so that's what we need to monitor. Now, notching this up to the weekly on the dollar index, you can see we've got plenty of room. Just like Bitcoin has plenty of room to come down into that 25,000 region on its EMA ribbon, the dollar index has plenty of room to go test its EMA ribbon. So if it decides that it wants a couple of weeks of risk off, it may want to move into its EMA ribbon, but the key is what happens after then. Can we then reject it to send it down to the downside and have another leg on Bitcoin? So to simplify things, where are we at right now in the market? Where we're at right now is how much more complicated do you want to make this? Inflation is coming down, right? You can see that happening. You can see that we are now less than a year away from a halving. The halving's coming, right? This halving is fast approaching. Do you want to be in crypto? Do you want to be out of crypto? Some of you sat out and missed from 15,500 all the way up to where we're at now, which is 27,000. The markets were a lot worse just a short period ago, right? Just a short period ago, if you jump into the charts here, this market was really painful down here, 15,500. You've already, if you sat out and procrastinated, missed out on a huge move up towards 31,000. You've missed out on over 100% move here. So what are you waiting for? Do you think the market's going to get much worse and we're going to drive down to 15,500? Is that really what you think? Do you think that unique set of circumstances is going to repeat itself or get even worse? Is inflation going to spike back up to 10%? Is the Russia-Ukraine war going to get worse? Are there going to be more bigger failings which we're not looking out for? What is it that's your thesis to make you want to sit out and wait for 15,500 again or lower? Because I know people are shouting out those crazy prices, but what is the realistic set of scenarios that could play out that's making you think, okay, I'm going to get an opportunity to buy again at 15,500? Because I can't rationally see how that's going to happen. As far as I'm seeing, inflation is trending down. We should be getting to our pause at the next meeting. By the end of the year, maybe even sooner, we can justify our first rate cut, right? And things can slowly, not immediately over the night, start trending in the right direction. And so for me, the bias now is I think we are more likely to start working our way into our next bull cycle than we are to be revisiting the bottom of the bear market and creating an even deeper bear market. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where are you sitting here on this Bitcoin market? Remember, this data is a mixed bag. It's complicated to navigate, but it's important you do understand it because this is what's moving the markets. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to go watch my video yesterday, which was a completely different format of video. Show me some love there. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.